Miami, the Magic City. It is a place that exists in the collective imagination as a neon-soaked paradise. It is the city of Will Smith, songs of Scarface, of white Ferraris and Art Deco hotels. It is the gateway to the Americas, a playground for the global elite, where crypto billionaires toast with Russian oligarchs on the decks of super yachts. In 2026, Miami is booming. The skyline is crowded with construction cranes, building condos that cost $10 million a piece. The restaurants are full. The clubs are open until 5 a.m. From the window of a penthouse on South Beach, the world looks perfect. But Miami is a city of islands, and if you cross the bridge, if you leave the fantasy of the barrier islands and drive under the concrete canopy of I-95, you find the other Miami. You find a city where the magic has run out. We are witnessing a collision of forces unique to this peninsula. Extreme wealth, extreme weather, and a housing market that has decided that the working class is no longer necessary. Welcome to Miami Homeless Crisis 2026. Luxury beaches hide a growing human collapse. Today, we are going to investigate the shadow side of the sunshine. We will explore the phenomenon of climate gentrification, where the rich are seizing the high ground and pushing the poor into the swamp. We will meet the service class homeless, the people who park your car and serve your food, but sleep in the back seat. And we will expose the ruthless efficiency of a city that tries to sweep human beings away like sand off a patio. This is the uncomfortable truth about paradise. To understand the geography of this crisis, you have to look at the water. Miami is defined by water. The wealthy live on the water, but the homeless live under the bridges that cross it. We started our journey on the MacArthur Causeway, the bridge that connects downtown Miami to South Beach. Above, the traffic is a parade of Lamborghinis and Range Rovers. Below, in the cavernous shadows of the concrete pillars, is a hidden village. We scrambled down the rocks to get there. The air was heavy with the smell of salt water, exhaust fumes, and human waste, but tucked against the seawall were tents. We met a man named Diego. He was fishing in the bay with a hand line. Diego used to be a line cook in a restaurant on Lincoln Road. I made the food for the tourists, Diego told us, pointing across the bay to the glowing skyline. I made $18 an hour. But my rent went from $1,200 to $2,400 in 2 years. I asked for a raise. They said no. I missed one payment and I was out. Now I catch fish to eat. Diego represents the service trap. Miami is a service economy. It runs on tourism, but the people who make the beds, mix the mojitos, and clean the pools can no longer afford to sleep within 20 miles of their jobs. So they live here, under the bridge, watching the cruise ships sail past, carrying thousands of people, spending Diego's annual salary on a weekend trip. But the crisis in Miami isn't just about economics. It is about the climate. Miami is ground zero for climate change. The sea levels are rising. The king tides flood the streets of South Beach on sunny days. This has triggered a new and terrifying phenomenon, climate gentrification. Historically, the wealthy lived on the beach and the poor lived inland on higher ground like Little Haiti and Liberty City. But now the developers have looked at the flood maps. They realize the beach is doomed. So they are moving inland. They are buying up the high ground. We walked through Little Haiti. For decades, this was a working-class immigrant neighborhood. Now, it is a construction zone. Luxury apartments are rising. The for sale signs are everywhere. We spoke to a community organizer named Marie. She stood in front of a church that was being sold to a developer. They call it revitalization, she said. We call it eviction. They want our elevation, they want to be safe from the water, so they raise the rent, kick us out, and we end up on the street. And when you end up on the street in Miami, you face the weather. The heat in Miami is not dry like Phoenix. It is a wet, suffocating blanket. The humidity breeds infection, the mosquitoes are relentless. Living outside here is a biological battle. But the real terror is hurricane season. Imagine living in a tent when the news says a Category 4 storm is approaching. The governor orders an evacuation, the tourists fly home, the homeowners board up their windows and drive north. But if you are homeless, you have no car, you have no money for a hotel, you are left behind. We met a woman named Linda near Overtown. She survived the storms of 2024 and 2025 on the street. When the wind starts, she whispered, you find a wall, you tie yourself to a fence, you pray. The water rises so fast, I saw a man get washed down a storm drain last year. He just disappeared. The city opens shelters during storms, yes, but many homeless people refuse to go. They are afraid of losing their possessions, their ID, their clothes, their tents, which aren't allowed inside, so they gamble with their lives. But the city of Miami has a solution for the homeless crisis. It isn't housing, it is the purge. In 2026, Florida has some of the strictest anti-camping laws in the nation. It is illegal to sleep on public property. The police enforce this with aggressive sweeps. We watched a cleanup operation near Wynwood, the trendy art district. At 5 a.m., police and sanitation trucks arrived. They gave the sleepers 5 minutes to move. Then they took everything. Tents, blankets, family photos thrown into the crusher of a garbage truck. It's about aesthetics, a local journalist told us. Miami sells an image. Sexy, rich, fun. A homeless person with a shopping cart ruins the Instagram photo, so they erase them. There is also the Greyhound Therapy. We found evidence that the city offers homeless people free one-way bus tickets to Georgia, to the Midwest, anywhere but here. It doesn't solve homelessness, it just exports it. But the most heartbreaking part of the Miami crisis is the hidden homeless in the parking lots. Because public transit is poor, you need a car in Miami. So when people lose their apartments, they move into their vehicles. We visited a Walmart parking lot in Hialeah at midnight. It was silent, but the cars were full. We saw families, we saw children doing homework by the light of the dashboard. We tapped on the window of a 2018 Toyota. A nurse named Sarah rolled it down. She was wearing her scrubs. I work at the hospital down the street, she said. I save lives all day, but I can't save enough for a security deposit. I sleep here for 4 hours, shower at the hospital gym, and go back to work. If my patients knew, they wouldn't trust me. This is the hidden collapse. The people holding the city together are falling apart. Miami is a city of illusions. The neon lights blind you to the darkness. The music drowns out the cries for help. The ocean breeze blows away the smell of poverty, but the cracks are showing. You can see it in the eyes of the man asking for change in front of the Gucci store. You can see it in the tent city growing in the shadow of the new soccer stadium. You can see it in the desperation of the people waiting in line at the food bank, wearing uniforms from the luxury hotels. As the sun sets over Biscayne Bay, the city lights up in purple and gold. The super yachts turn on their underwater lights. It is breathtakingly beautiful. But down on the rocks, under the causeway, Diego lights a small fire to cook his fish. He looks up at the cars driving over his head, carrying people to a party he will never be invited to. They think this is paradise, he says, looking at the water. But paradise is expensive, and if you can't pay, you become part of the scenery. This is the uncomfortable truth about Miami. It is a city that loves your money but hates your poverty. It is a city sinking, not just into the ocean, but into its own indifference. Thank you for watching this investigation into the Miami crisis. It is a story of glitter and grit. If you believe that the people who build and serve our cities deserve a place to live in them, please like this video. It helps us expose the reality. And please, subscribe, to America's Uncomfortable Truth, We will continue to show you the side of the postcard they don't want you to see. Leave a comment below. Is Miami becoming a playground for the rich only? Stay safe, watch the weather, and never stop demanding the truth.